right over here. So to do that, we're going to go up to our Create panel, and instead of Standard Primitives, and right above Windows, we'll find Doors. And then we have basically 3 different types. We're going to be creating a pivot door. And so we'll create this in pretty much the same way that we created the windows. Go to the top view. Okay. And I'm going to click on Pivot Door. And this in our creation method just designates, how the order of which these are kind of drawn out. So you can watch the parameters here as we draw these out. So I'm going to start kind of over here and just drag out the width. I'm going to make this about 30 inches or so, between 30 and 32 inches. So I've got maybe something like that. It's fine. The depth, we can go ahead and make that just a little bit deeper than the wall itself. And the height, go ahead and make that kind of a standard door height, about 6 foot 8 inches. Okay, it doesn't have to be exact, but if you want it to be, you can come in here and go ahead and just add that. Okay, we'll go back to our perspective there. And now you can see that door has been added. Now you can see the purple behind there, so it looks like it's not actually linked up yet. If we go to Modify, we can actually open the door. So if we open that, you can see that that wall is still there behind it. So let's go ahead and, just like we did with the window, we can link this. So we'll go up to our main toolbar, choose Select and Link, select the door, and drag over to the wall. And now you can see if we open this, you can actually see through there. And just as with the window, it's actually cut that out. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the different parameters that we can change here. Okay, beyond the actual movement of the door, let's skip that for now. We can come down to the frame, so we can make that frame a bit narrower if we want to. We can make it not quite as deep. All right. We can also look at the leaf parameters, so we can change the thickness of that, basically these little parts right in there. We can change the number of panels. Okay, we can change the size here, the styles in the top rail, and then the bottom rail. We can move that down if we want to. Create these different panels in there. All right. We can also choose the panels. We can have them beveled, so we can have kind of a beveled panel there. We can have it be just glass, so if we want to have be able to see through that. Okay, we can have change all these different things. We don't have to have any panels at all if we don't want to. I'm going to create a just have a glass panel in there, and let's go ahead and make this just a single panel. And I'm going to go ahead and scale this down and just make it kind of a thin panel in the middle. I'm kind of move this up a little bit. So I'm going to just do something like that, but you feel free to do whatever you like. Really customize this however you want to. Now, once you've got that looking the way that you want it to look, you can also choose how it actually opens. So you saw that we were able to open this choosing this little spinner right here. But let's say you want it to actually open out. Well, right now I can turn off this flip swing, and it'll actually open outward now. Okay, so you can see that. If I want it to open inward again, I just flip that and it'll open inward. You can also flip the side that the hinge is on. So if I flip the hinge side, it'll actually open from this side. If I turn off that flip swing, it'll actually open on this side, but now it'll open out. So you have a lot of different options here. I'm going to go ahead and make sure the swing is flipped, and then open it from that direction. So that's the way I want it to open in. You can also turn those into double doors as well, which is kind of cool. Okay, so leave those settings and maybe modify that just a little bit. Make that a little bit skinnier to get something like that. Now feel free to play around with, this is a pivot door, play around with the bifold and the sliding doors as well, just using the same type of procedure. Okay, now we have the door in here. You can go ahead and place this a little bit better if you want to, and you can see how that opening follows along there. So maybe you want to have kind of almost the same width between the wall and the window if you'd like to do that. And you can also maybe move this window around so we've got kind of a similar distance here, and maybe you just want to kind of space these out a little bit. So it's nice that you can actually do that and the holes follow along, and you don't have to worry about building those holes in and then having to move all of that geometry later on if something happens and you can't use it where it currently is. All right, so now that we've got our windows and doors added into our parametric walls here, the next thing that we might want to do is go ahead and start to build the floor and the ceiling. Now for the ceiling, I want to add a little bit of detail here and create kind of we've got an 8-foot ceiling here, and then let's kind of vault it up a little bit over on this side. Okay, so to do that, we're going to have to change up our walls a little bit. And so we'll look at how we can modify the walls and how we can, transfer those into an editable state at a certain time when we need to, and actually modify those a little bit more to